Okay, welcome back to members of 121 Community Church in Grapevine, Texas. In our brand new study, we're going to take a look at a little paperback entitled Studies in Hegel from Tulane University Press. It's a little collection of essays on Hegel, and it came out in 1960, but it's got some pretty good essays in it. We're going to take a look at the first essay in this lesson, which is Hegel's concept of time. And I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't remember anybody ever doing an essay on Hegel's concept of time. So it was a pretty good little essay, and we're going to take a look at it. It's the first essay in the volume by Brinkley, pages 3 to 16. Let's go to block 1. And we're going to take a look at this as the logic of time, the essence of time, and the spirit of time. So block 1, the logic of time as the notion of the logos. The rationalization of history is the purpose of Hegel's work. But he does address time in his Phenomenology as a new theory of time. And he does borrow from the philosophy, the ancient philosophy of Heraclitus. He posits a new theory of time as a philosophy of existence, as a history of ideas concerning history itself, under the form of temporal existence. Time is the notion itself in the form of existence. And temporal existence separates existence from essence. So block 1, note 3, temporality separates existence from essence. Time is the existence of the notion, and when I say notion, we mean notion of the logos, or begriff, notion or concept, eidos in classical Greek, meaning idea or essence. And Plato called these his forms. They are in reference to Plato's forms. It is also characterized by logos as the logic, the principle of reason in existence. Remember, Stoicism talked about the underlying rational spirit of the logos. And the logos is the universal structure of existence. The notion of the logos is the self-thinking thought of God for Hegel. The notion of the logos is the self-thinking thought of the Spirit of God. Let's go on to block 2. We'll take a look at the essence of time. And it is the history of the eidos ideas. And it's an integration of all notions, all concepts, under the overarching notion, capital N, of the eternal logos. In other words, the eternal logos abbreviates all of the concepts of the kingdom. And I love what Brinkley has here, because I agree with him. It is a circular system of knowledge. We've talked about that before, but for Hegel, truth is a movement going out from the divine and returning to the divine. It's always a circular system of knowledge. And that circular system of knowledge is its condition for being true. So I like that. Brinkley is correct. Block 2, note 2. Essence is the circular integration of all the concepts under the notion of logos. Essence reaches completeness. As all-inclusive, essence must circle back onto itself. The The notion is the highest level of the development of essence. The notion of the Logos is the very highest level, the absolute highest level. Okay, let's take a look at Block 2, Note 3. The highest level of circular development is time becoming the reality of the notion of the Logos. It's the keystone to Hegel's entire system of thought. The notion, in its temporal form, is the existence, now catch this, of the kairos, opportune time. Remember your New Testament. There are two words for time in the New Testament. Chronos, for secular chronological time, and kairos as the opportune vertical time of God's kingdom. Christ came at a kairos time. The time of the kingdom is at hand is a kairos time. And the notion of the Logos in its temporal form is the existence of kairos, opportune time for the Logos in any given concrete moment. It is a moment of sublation where we negate the determinate side and affirm the universal. We know that. And that leads to a transformation of our given existence. Our given existence is not the real. It is not the real. The real lies behind surface reality. The real lies behind determinate surface reality. So we seek a transformation of the given reality by the Spirit of the divine, which lies behind surface reality. And then this sounds very much like Moltmann. The eschatological future leads us into the next moment of sublation. So it's the future of the Spirit that is at work. It's the eschaton that is at work. It is the parousia, the coming of Christ, who is at work. And the eschatological parousia is creating opportune times of the Logos as it lifts up creation back into reunification with the Father. All the time. Christ said he works all the time, just as the Father works all the time. The Spirit is continually lifting creation back into reunification with the Father. And this is the eschatological parousia, the eschatological coming of Christ, that is imprinting the moment with kairos time, opportune time of the eternal Logos. Sounds very much like Jürgen Moltmann, so I like the fact that Brinkley brought that out, because Moltmann certainly did pick up on that part of Hegel. So to me, in Block 2, what really does count is that Block 2, Note 2, the essence of the eternal Logos is a circular integration of all the concepts of the kingdom under the notion of the eternal Logos. It's always a circle of truth going out from God and then in a circular manner returning back to God through the uplifting Spirit that lifts all of creation into reunification with the Father. It's always a circular integration of all concepts under the eternal notion of the eternal Logos. So I like that. I think Brinkley is right. It's the notion of the Logos that is the overarching capital C concept. And then under that overarching concept of Logos, it abbreviates all the minor concepts, all the other concepts of the kingdom. It abbreviates all of them. Remember our discussions of the Trinity. The Father is the Logos. The Son is the Rhema, the spoken Logos. The Spirit is the Pneuma, lifting creation back into reunification with the Father. It's a circle. The Father goes out of himself as the eternal Logos to create, and then he speaks new creation into existence through the Rhema, spoken word of Christ. Christ is the Rhema. And then we have a return moment of the Pneuma, Spirit, lifting creation back into reunification with the eternal Logos, the Father. And that Trinity lesson is still on the channel. It's tried to search for it for a while, but it is on there. It's in the list of playlists on the channel still. Let's go on to block 3 and take a look at the spirit of time. We've looked at the logic of time. We've looked at the essence of time. The logic of time is the notion of the capital L Logos. The essence of time is a circular integration of concepts under the eternal Logos. Now we're going to look at the spirit of time as the ongoing separation of existence or negation of existence from the underlying spiritual essence. Let's go to block 3, note 1. It is a logic of the Logos inspired by Heraclitus of Ephesus. 6 aspects. Heraclitus posited a philosophy of the ongoing unity of opposites as a process of becoming, as a metaphysical monism. From all determinateness arises the one. Through a rationalism of the eternal Logos, our existence is always in a state of dynamic flux, moving toward the raising up of the eternal Logos. Sounds just like Hegel, doesn't it? That's Heraclitus. Hegel took up Heraclitus. Now, block 3, note 2, we look at the unveiled essence, which takes place through a perpetual perishing of a determinate side of existence. It is a process of sublation, in other words, negation of the determinate, finite, and affirmation of the universal spirit. Determinate space is negated, thereby revealing the spirit of the Logos at work. I'll read that again. Determinate space is negated, thereby revealing the spirit of the Logos at work. Doing what? Lifting creation into reunification with the Father. So, block 3, note 3, what is the resultant triad taught by Hegel that Brinkley accurately does articulate? This is I agree with this essay by Brinkley. Okay, the triad. We begin with the logic of the unveiling of the notion of the Logos. Then we move to the essence as the perpetual perishing of the finite determinate side of existence. And then 3, spirit is the realized opportune kairos time of the incarnate eternal Logos. Hegel emphasizes kairos time, divine opportune time, kairos time. Very, very powerful lesson. This is the first essay in the volume by Tulane University Press. And we'll pick up in the second essay next, but that wraps up pages 3 to 16, Hegel's concept of time.